Hi, in this video we'll talk about the blind spots, and I have been going across a lot of comments in Facebook groups where most of them have failed because of the blind spot checks. So this video is about making it easier and how you can train yourself so that you don't miss even a single blind spot during your exam. So first let's talk about blind spot. So what is a blind spot? So blind spot is that area of the area around the car which is not covered by any mirrors. So there is one spot where the mirror, so usually the side mirrors they cover what is coming far ahead at the back, but there is a place where which is just behind your car and to the sideways where the mirrors don't show that in your blind spot, show that spot. That's why it's called a blind spot. So for that you need to explicitly do a over the shoulder check. So you need to turn and then check over the shoulder. So this is a very important check, and if you don't do that it can be very fatal. So this is not just for your exam, but in general, even if you are driving on a road, so it's important to check the blind spot, because blind spots more likely you may end up with a fatal accident due to blind spot, but even if you forget to check the side mirror and suddenly change the lane, still the person behind you has time to adjust. But if you don't check your blind spot and turn the lane, then there is no way the person behind you can get over it and avoid an accident. So if you don't check a blind spot, most likely you'll end up in an accident if there is something in your blind spot. So how can you practice your blind spot at home or while driving? So the best thing that that worked for me is saying out loud and doing it as you say. So I used an acronym. It's mirror blind spot. So whenever I turn or whenever I change lane, I always speak it out, and then I try to follow my head with whatever I say. So I can give an example. So let's say I'm changing my lane. I'm changing to the right lane. For example, I'm changing to the left lane. So for that, first I'll say mirror, and then I'll check the rear view mirror, and then I'll say mirror, and that mirror will be my side mirror, and then I'll say blind spot, and then it will be an over the shoulder check. So whenever I turn, I'll say mirror blind spot, and whenever I have to turn right, I'll say mirror blind spot, mirror blind spot. So I'll keep repeating that until it becomes my second nature. So if it is difficult for you to keep track of these blind spot checks, then you can always practice this blind spot check. So when should you check the blind spot? So whenever you are maneuvering your car sideways, you should check the blind spot. So be it changing the lane or be it taking a turn. So whenever your car is turning sideways, you should check the blind spot. This is the rule of thumb. And if you have an issue, I had this issue while training. So if you have an issue that whenever you are turning for the blind spot, then your steering is also like turning. Like if you turn this way, and then your steering is also becoming like this. So if you have this issue, then to fix this issue, what you can do is at your home take something round, let's say a plate that you eat on, and then hold on to the plate and then practice this over the shoulder check. Just keep practicing until you see that these two movements are independent. They become independent, and your over the shoulder turn doesn't affect your hands, and then it will be very easy for you to check the blind spot with this.